to have people come up here and refute you, correct?
Yeah, so far I'd like to see.
All right, so I'm refuting this one point.
This one point that the whale losing its legs is still an example for evolution. Okay, if you believe that, that's fine. I disagree, but go ahead. Yes, next one.
Oh, thank you.
Have to hurry here. You've got a few minutes.
First of all, everybody seems really angry.
No, I'm not angry. I'm having fun. I could do this every day. I really could. I love this. See, I have the PowerPoint. Go ahead.
Okay, I understand your point about not wanting to pay your money for what you call lies. Although, I think the big question that I've had sort of since I walked in here is, are you assuming that these textbook publishers know that what they're saying is not true?
Okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Basically, who benefits? I mean, I'm not trying to attack.
Who benefits from these lies in the textbooks?
Who benefits from this? And why is everyone arguing so vehemently?
Okay. I don't know as far as benefits or not benefits, why they're kept in the textbooks. I'm going to say probably the authors of the textbooks honestly think they're teaching the truth. The publishers of the textbooks honestly think they're teaching the truth. The teachers in the school who are teaching this honestly think they're teaching the truth. I am pointing out, this has been proven wrong. Real science would clear this stuff up. They wouldn't allow lies to continue in the textbooks. The problem is, if you remove these lies that I mentioned, there's nothing left to support the evolution theory, and that raises red flags. Because along with creation, which is the only other alternative to evolution, there comes a whole lot of baggage like a creator and rules, you know, like thou shalt not commit adultery. That's what they're really running from. So, all I said was we should not allow lies to be taught in the textbooks in tax-funded schools. If somebody wants to start a private school and teach lies all they want, go for it, man. I don't care what you teach. You can teach your kids in a private school that if you blow yourself up and kill 10 Israelis, you get to go to heaven and have 72 virgin wives. Okay, you can teach it, but I don't want to pay for that. Go ahead.
Well, that is taught in a number of schools.
That is taught in our schools?
No, not in this country, generally. I guess then the biggest question that's brought up after that is, if all of those lies, or at least untruths.
Okay. If these untruths were taken out of the book?
So all of these untruths were taken out of the books from what you know, and I guess for many of the people who have questions and might know more about this subject than me, if all of these untruths that you brought up were taken out, would there then be any basis for believing that there was an original idea of this descent from original creatures to base like evolutionary molecular biology on? Or even better, if you took all those things out, what would you have?
You would have a good textbook with lots of biological science. There's a lot of good biology that ought to be taught. Evolution's unrelated to the subject. Okay? I'm in favor of biology. I taught it 15 years. I like biology. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Tom, and I study neurobiology here, but I don't think that's relevant to this subject.
Okay.
I'm a Christian. I believe in Christ. I also believe in evolution.
We can fix that. Hang in there, Tom. We can fix that.
I mean, obviously that's my belief, but
that's your what?
That's my belief.
Your what?
Belief.
Belief?
Yes.
Good. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Go ahead.
I don't disagree that evolution can be a theory and can be a religion. I'm not going to argue that technicality.
But just pointing that out. Go ahead, Tom.
Right, I know.
Okay.
And I respect the fact that you pointed out the embryology is false. You know, I didn't know that before this lecture, so I benefited from this lecture. So,
well, hey, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I like that. Could you go back to the slide where you pointed out the horses?
The horse evolution?
Yeah, or variation in species, I guess.
Variations? Oh, okay. Because I have on
like kind. The slide on kinds.
Variations happen, but they have limits. Let's see. I mentioned about there's a variety of horses.
Right.
Right.
So, are you saying that those are the same kind?
I think a 5-year-old could tell you a zebra and a horse are the same kind of animal. They're still interfertile. Zebras and horses can still breed.
Okay. So,
not the same kind, not the same species.
Right. So, suppose I put a human being at where the caballo is, and a chimpanzee where the burro is, and then if I put a gorilla where the zebra is, would you say kids, 5-year-old kids would say they're very similar, they're the same kind?
Well, there may be some 5-year-olds who would believe that.
Right. But that can happen, right?
Well, are they interfertile?
No, I don't think they are.
Then they're not the same kind. These two are interfertile. They're the same kind.
Okay, so what about a horse and a donkey?
Wait, I showed you quite a few examples where the horses, zebras, and asses can all be crossbred. There's a website dealing with that.
Right, but their offsprings are not fertile.
Doesn't matter. They can produce an offspring.
Okay.
Okay? The human and ape cannot even produce the first generation, let alone a sterile generation.
Okay, but you're saying What?
Now, maybe somebody here has tried it. I don't know. I wouldn't surprise me. But go ahead.
Oh, come on now. Don't go there. Don't go there. Come on now.
Okay. Well,
what I'm saying is, I mean, the way you place different animals, different species, in a category that show that they're the same kind, the same can be done for hominids, for primates.
Well, first of all, the differences between apes and humans, I think, are pretty profound. There are millions of differences.
Like 98%, like 2% of DNA differences?
Well, it's actually 5% difference.
Okay, 5% differences.
Okay.
Would you say two things that are 95% in common are very similar?
I'd say they have the same designer. Yeah, the same guy.
Same no, not ancestors.
No,
Oh, okay.
it wouldn't prove the same ancestor. It could prove a lot of things. Actually, the similarity between a Honda Prelude and a Honda Accord are pretty striking.
Yes, they're from the same maker, Honda.
You got the point. You got the point.
I do get the point. I believe in Christ. I believe He created certain things, but
Do you believe it's possible that
evolution.
wait? You believe it's possible that humans and apes have similarities because they simply have a common designer? Is that a possibility? That they're not even related, they're just the same guy designed them all?
That can be a possibility, yes.
Okay, is that something that ought to be taught in the schools, maybe?
If it's a theory.
Oh, no, it involves creation.
No, it can't
No.
be. It should be taught if it's labeled as a theory.
Okay.
I'm not saying that creation shouldn't be taught because I mean theory of evolution is a theory. It's taught in schools.
Would you agree
theories.
that it's not taught in the schools?
I do agree it's not taught in schools,
okay.
and I think tax dollars from Christians should not, if they don't want, be funded in public schools that teach a theory that they object. I agree with you.
So tax dollars should not go to teach evolution in public schools. They should teach it in private schools.
Unless the people that pay the taxes agree that they should. But let's go back to the subject.
Wait. How many of you pay taxes for the schools in this state, and you do not believe evolution should be taught, but you're paying for it anyway? How many of you resent that? Okay. So, now, I really want to hear Skip's question. We only got a few minutes left. Let me just point out one thing. Okay. The textbooks say humans and orangutans are 96% similar, proving a common ancestor 15 billion years ago. This is ludicrous, but I'll just give them that. Okay. Barney Maddox, one of the leading genome researchers, said the difference between humans and his nearest relative, the chimpanzee, is at least 1.6%. That doesn't sound like much, but calculated out, that's a gap of 48 million nucleotides, and a change of only 3 nucleotides is fatal to an animal. If this is a guy saying you change 3 things, you're probably going to die, and there's 48 million differences, that's when they thought it was 1.6% difference. Now they know it's actually 95% similar, which is 5% difference. So it's much worse than they think, and even still, they're missing the whole point. Similarities don't prove any ancestry. It might prove the common designer.
So I guess horses and burros aren't. They're not the same type. They're not the same kind.
Girls are not the same.
No. That's not what I said. Zebras and stuff. The horses, basically. Horses
and zebras are the same kind.
Okay. But humans are not.
Humans are not the same as horses. No, not really.
To me, there's an inconsistency, but that's my opinion. I'm going to yield my time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Just before I start, making a quick comment. I disagree when you say the burden of proof is on the evolutionists. Because at this university and all over the UC system and universities all over the country, scientists, grad students, some of them are probably here, are applying evolution